Hello! I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. This is a very, very special Star Wars quiz supporting the Older Hay Children's Kidney Fund, and also with our excellent guest, Mr. Spencer Wilding, Rogue One, Darth Vader. So we're just going to wait just a few minutes for the whole thing to warm up because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get everybody on board. But don't worry, we'll be there in a very, very short while. So don't you panic and just wait till things go on. Obviously, we've got 5 fantastic rounds, all mainly about the Dark Lord and Vader himself. So you have a few questions there. And also, if you want to do any questions at home, then please carry on and we'll see what's going on for that as well. So I'm going to unclick on here and we'll just introduce our fantastic guests today. So hello, hope everybody's doing okay. Obviously, special guest down here, but we have some other people from the garrison as well. So don't worry, I'm not ignoring Spence yet. We're going to talk to him in a very, very short while, but don't you panic. First, we're going to introduce our fantastic garrison person from the Golden Gate Garrison, which is Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm doing great.
Pretty good.
I guess quick about myself. I'm from the Golden Gate Garrison, Northern California, and I am podcasting with you guys from the world famous Bucket of Blood Saloon in Virginia City,
wicked,
Nevada.
amazing, fantastic.
So yeah, we get you guys a good background here for this. Thanks for having us.
Well, we're very, very glad for you to come as well. I'm just going to show a couple of pictures so we can show your garrison off. So here we go. So this is obviously the charity we're doing today, Hay Kidneys Fund. If you need to look it up, you can go to Older Hay Children's Kidney Fund.org. Very easy to find. So you shouldn't find that too difficult. So this is your guys from Golden Gate.
Yeah.
Do you know any of these guys who went last time?
I do. As a matter of fact, one of our boys is right there in the middle, Ricky Resurrection. He's our local GML, and Ricky has got like 50 billion costumes approved by this point. I think he's closing in on some of the records, like 10 or 15 costumes. It's ridiculous. It's amazing.
Wow, that's a lot of costumes. You must have a very room. So fantastic. So that is the Golden Gate Garrison. And our second guest of the day is the lovely Orson Krennic, or is it Magdalena? Who knows?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Again, you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to and everything. We'd love to know.
I'm from Polish Garrison, and our garrison was founded in 2003 with 3 members. We started with 3 members. Now we have 111 with different costumes. Our member have, I think, now 28 costumes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So got to follow up with that, the Golden Gate Garrison, if someone's got that many costumes, haven't they? So we'll show you a couple of pictures. This is a photograph from the Polish Garrison, or should be anyway. I think it's one of the bigger groups, but yeah, fantastic groups, you guys. Do you know anybody in the picture?
Yes, and this is a photo with Rebel Legion Eagle Base members.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Lovely. This is from Garrisons, but we have an actor in the mix, and not just a normal actor. We have a very, very big man, big pair of boots to fill, and he did it very, very well in Rogue One as Darth Vader. It is the fantastic Spencer Wilding. How are you doing, Spence?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing us on, man. I can't wait. Bit of fun.
Well, I look back at, we go onto IMDb and we look at all the stuff you've done, and it's just startlingly amazing the amount of stuff that you've done. Really exciting, and like obviously we're obviously Star Wars fans, as you might have noticed.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So, wait, I thought this was a Star Trek quiz show.
I've met a lot of you guys all over the world.
So I mean,
I've got lots and lots of costumes, but they just won't let me keep them. You know, I don't know why.
I don't know why.
We might be able to help you out, Spence.
Hey, woo! There you go. Use the Force, man.
Yeah. There you go. Right. So we got a couple of pictures for Spence. I think everybody at home will probably recognise Spence in this one in particular, because he's actually very, very well known in a very, very well known film, which was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And we were just talking off air. Now you're with James Gunn, who's the director. Also just done Suicide Squad 2 as well. So done loads of stuff. But you're holding a little tub of Play-Doh, and there's a very, very special reason for that.
There is. Yeah, well, I got called onto this show. I was on it for like a few days because it's a quick scene. So they asked me to come in and do a little bit of cameo. And this specific day, I'd been in makeup all day. And, sometimes things run over, so they don't get to you straight away. And it was like the last half an hour before they went to overtime. And you come to the trailer, said, "Spen, you really apologise we haven't got to you today. But there's a little scene we want you to do. We want you to dance through the prison." And I said, "Okay, no problem." So I said, so what's happening then? So they pulled me over to set, and they said, right, we're going to dance in the prison. It's the first time you've heard music. Be really mean to one of the mean guards, one of the prisoners over there. So I danced through the prison, and I was really mean to one of the prisoners, and everybody went really quiet and laughed. I was like, that's good.
Oh, cool.
Because everybody laughed when I danced on the dance floor in the nightclub. So it was a good sign. So we did this, and he goes, Spen, that was really, really good. But do you think you can dance like an alien? I went, hey, employed an alien? You've employed an alien, you've got one. So, and then at the end of the day, just as I was going to my car to get a lift back to the hotel, he pulled the car over. I jumped out, and he goes, Spen, you did a really good job today. Here's some Play-Doh. And I said, Play-Doh? Why you give me Play-Doh? And he goes, it's one thing that he does. He gave out 40 Play-Dohs in the whole of the production, from anybody from the stunts to the crew, the actors, anybody anything to do with the production. And he goes, who did an exceptional day that day? So I got a thumbs up off the gun.
Yes, wicked, that, isn't it? And I had a look on this as well, because I know it is in the deleted scenes. It's actually on Disney Plus as well, and it's the first. If you go onto extras, it's the very first scene. That dance scene is on there.
That's
so if
cool.
anyone's got Disney Plus, you can see it in HD now as well. So well worth
I'll have
watching.
to watch it.
You should. Brilliant. We love it. So that's some of the magical stuff he did. Obviously, Game of Thrones was on there as well. Men in Black, which is very new as well. I'll show one thing else, because we're obviously very, very big for costumes, which is one thing. And the other thing, and I say other, and there's multiple things of other there. But I was saying on the left hand of your screen, if you're watching now, is you in the Wolfman, which won an Oscar for the best achievements in makeup as well.
I know. It's his seventh Oscar, amazing. Rick Baker. Yeah, Rick Baker and Dave Elsey and Lou. They got a seventh Oscar. Rick Baker got that. So it was great to be part of that magic, you know. Yeah. And to play the Wolfman. Me and the Wolfman went through. You know, I was doing 21-hour back-to-backs. I was getting 3 hours sleep a night. Me and the Wolfman went through some vigorous hours together. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I really enjoyed. I loved playing the Wolfman, and to be in the. You know, the makeup of Rick Baker as well, you know, and Dave Elsey and Lou, it's just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely amazing costume. I take it with this, because, I mean, you're a very tall man already. I think you're 6'8", aren't you? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah,
a big fan. But I think on that, you're actually even taller in the Wolfman with some sort of like extra extended legs. Is that right?
They're stilts, but they're shaped like a hind leg of a wolf or a dog. So they took you to, 7.5 feet in the air. So you know, when I stood up and howled, you know, it was a very intimidating, you know.
Perfect for a horror movie. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So, amazing.
Bloody good night it was. Bloody good night on a full moon.
And we're just going quickly because, as per usual, we'll run out of time doing the actual quiz itself. The middle two, the bottom was probably your first professional gig, which I think was Prisoner of Azkaban as the werewolf, which was Professor Lupin before he was the werewolf. The top one is a bit later on, actually, isn't it?
That's Greyback. That's Greyback. Yeah. I played two characters. I played Greyback and Death Eater in the new Wizards Unite Harry Potter game for the phones. So it was, we filmed that in Lisbon, which is pretty cool.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. And then we got Wrath of the Titans, which you play the Minotaur, which is another amazing monster and fantastic makeup as well on that. Yeah. And then we go for the big guns because you want to do that. And then obviously Darth Vader, which is the most infamous and famous villain of all time on screen.
He's a great one for the resume.
Yes.
The Dark Lord. Yeah, he's an incredible character to play. What and the presence that takes over you. You know, I didn't really get why he was the most bad guy of all screen, you know, but when I played the character, then I got it, you know, the presence took over me and, you know, you could literally choke people out, you know.
Wow, cool. I mean, again, I'll try and rush it because we got to get to the quiz eventually one day.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you obviously, if anyone didn't know, Spencer's obviously a very, very well-known kickboxer as well, British and Welsh champion. And you're also, I think you're a trainer now as well for another.
Yeah, I was a professional boxer as well.
Oh, right. I didn't know that. So there you
go. I had 19 fights, 18 wins, 14 knockouts, and 3 titles. I beat everybody.
Well, there you go. So pretty, and that's why you're Vader, really.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's why I got into the films, man. They got me into the films. The Force is strong with me.
But obviously, with boxing, you sort of prepare yourself before the fight. Did you do that roughly for Vader? Did you have sort of mentally prepare yourself to become Vader, or have a way to become him?
Well, it wasn't my first film, so I'm like 40 odd films in when I landed Vader, so I've got a bit of a switch, you know. But the movements have to be exactly the same as the original Vader, Dave Prowse, you know. So So Paul Casey was a great performer and actor as well. He was the movement coordinator, and he got us exactly me and myself, Dave, me and Daniel, should I say. We both played the Vaders, and we had to have our movements exactly the same. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, I didn't know that. So that's wicked.
Yeah.
So did you look at the footage from the original Star Wars movie, and he helped you sort of guide through how you become the real Vader, I suppose, which you are, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, you've got to have the presence anyway, because you can't learn the presence. That'll naturally come through, because there's a real presence and spirit of Darth Vader, and he chooses his actor. You know, believe it or not, it's a bit spiritual. Yeah, and then the rest, we just finally changed the gate and make it more smooth. But once he's with you anyway, it naturally happens, you know.
Wow, that's amazing. So we will talk more with Spencer after we've done round one. So if anybody at home would like to ask him any questions, we'd love to hear from that. I've got some written down as well, and some other people working with you are going to ask him a few as well, but we'll take it from there. As we said, this is for the Older Hay charity, so if you would like to help us out while we got a little bit of time, just click up or down on the donate button. Very easy to do. You can do it with PayPal as well, works fine, and you can have a fantastic charity for the Kidney Cause, which is all about the children's cause down here and has saved so many people's lives as well. So again, we will talk about that in a short period of time, but I'm going to do round one, which is Darth Vader moments. So this is round one. I hope everybody at home is doing okay. I haven't talked to anybody at home yet either, so let's have a quick look on here. Silly old me. I get so involved with the Dark Lord as a Jedi Knight. I've got to be careful as well. We'll just see who we are. So who is on today? So we've got Sam Jeffries, James Davis, Ozilla, Glenn Chase, Ben Davey, Aaron Beam, Ben Williams, how are you doing again? James Davis, Nut Fosters, Gerard, David Wenger, a lot of people on there. So over a couple of hundred people on there at the moment. So hello, everyone at home. If you are playing the quiz at home and you haven't done it before, it is very easy. You do not have to write down anything whatsoever. Just remember your score. We can top that up as you go along and we'll help you out and take it from there. If you get a point, which hopefully you do, we'll add that to your thing. And at the end of the score, you should have roughly 30 points, which is what we call the Palpatine's seal of approval. That is the top score you can possibly get. If you get 24 points or more, you get Darth Vader's seal of approval, which Spencer probably would seal for. If you get 18 or more, you get the officer's recommendation. And if you get, if I can't remember what was underneath that, what's the other one? Oh, dear me. I think it's 12. You can join the Stormtroopers and take it from there. If you do under 12, I'm afraid you haven't done very well and you need to watch a bit more Star Wars or hang out with Chris and watch some Star Trek, one or the other. So that's what we need to do. If you do donate any money today to our charity, you will also get 2 extra Bad Guys Doing Good points, which you'll get for yourself, and you can donate an extra point to one of the people playing. So, do that if you feel like it and take it from there. So that's all the paperwork out of the way. Hopefully everybody's ready to go. Chris, I hope you can hear me. He can. He's going for a walk. I don't know where he's going. Maybe the men's room.
He's going to find a more quiet spot.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You could just do jogging if you want.
I'm gonna hang out at the Pokey, I think, up here. It's great.
So Chris is going to walk all around the city.
I'll be there.
And give us like a little tour.
I'd like to point out the wild horses that roam the streets of Virginia City.
No,
there you
way.
go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Go back there, Chris. Have a look at that wild horse.
I'm not getting anywhere near him. Forget it. No way.
If you could ride it, Chris, we'll give you extra points.
No. I'm gonna get kicked, and then I have to explain why I was on a Star Trek quiz show getting kicked by a horse. Is that what we're doing? What are we doing?
Well, you can say that if you like, but you won't get any points for it.
Perfect.
Okay, here we go. Right. So until Chris gets run over by a car, we're going to carry on with the quiz. This is the Darth Vader moments. It is it's actually a 7 or 8 point round today, so it's a little bit more than normal because I like Darth Vader and I think he deserves the credit. So, number 1. So everybody keep your pens to yourselves and take it from there. I've just got to find my little notes. Oh, I'm always losing things today, aren't I? Here we are. So number 1, the scene from Rogue One in Darth Vader's fortress. What is the finishing line Vader says to Orson Krennic after he's had enough with him? So Vader says something very particular to end the conversation. What does Vader say? Hope you're getting a funny throat right now, Magdalena.
No,
okay,
it's a little. I haven't shaved, so a little scratchy down here.
Okay, so what is the sentence Vader says?
On every event.
There you go. Right. So that's question 1. Question 2. Who does the voice of Darth Vader throughout all of the Star Wars live action movies? So obviously we know someone who's inside the suit, but there was one particular man who did the voice all the way through that. And who was that person? Number 3. Vader declares, I can't say this as well as probably Spence, "Now I am the master." You probably can you do it better than me?
No, I am the master.
That is good, actually.
Don't scare the horse, man.
Worries me about it. So,
Scare the
Get on
horse.
that horse.
This guy.
says, "No, I am the master." When he confronts Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Death Star in the original movie, but what is Obi-Wan Kenobi's reply to "Now I am the master"? Which Spencer's better than me. So, what's his reply? What's Obi-Wan's reply to that sentence? Number 4. In The Empire Strikes Back, who does Darth Vader force choke to death for incompetence? Is it A, Admiral Ozzel, B, Captain Antilles, C, Captain Underpants, D, General Veers?
Definitely Captain Underpants.
Yeah,
Should
definitely.
be Captain Underpants.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's very incompetent.
Yes, it is.
So, which of those people does Darth Vader choke to death in The Empire Strikes Back? Obviously, he's choked lots of people to death, but just this particular movie, is it Admiral Ozzel, Captain Antilles, Captain Underpants, or General Veers? The hard question. So I would be very surprised if anyone got this right, unless they're a Darth Vader expert. They may do, they may not, but don't worry if you don't. Right, at the end of Rogue One, there is a rebel massacre by Darth Vader. But how many rebels does Darth Vader kill in that scene? So it is more than 5. It is less than 20. So if you know that, I would point out, me and Chris checked this answer more than a few times because we couldn't double check. And we eventually did come up with an answer. But if you give me one or the answers, because we thought it was one or the other, I will give you a point for that as well. So how many rebels does Vader kill in the end of Rogue One? It's quite a few. Where are we now? Number 6. In Return of the Jedi, when Luke surrenders and is given up to Darth Vader, why does Darth Vader tell Luke, your skills are now complete? Is it because Luke has constructed his own lightsaber? Is it B, he destroyed the Death Star? Is it C, he's seen visions of the future? Or is it D, he's had a new haircut? So which of those is correct?
Haircut.
That's number. It should be a new haircut. Right, I'm going to do a bonus question because I liked it. So this one is a little bit more about Spencer and David Prowse. A non-Star Wars movie, so it's not a Star Wars movie, has David Prowse and Spencer Wilding played a very, very famous monster. So this is a feature film question.
You'd have to be alive to answer that.
There you go. So again, which non-Star Wars movie has Spencer Wilding and David Prowse? These are 2 different movies, just in case I'm confusing anyone. 2 different movies. One was about 30 years ago. One's very recent. Have they both played a particular monster? But what's the name of that monster? So that is question 7. And that is the end of that round. So hopefully we'll just have a look and see how everyone's done at home. Did everybody get that here? You all got the questions, heard them? Good. That's what we like. Bonzi Matthew says that's an amazing question. I don't know which question it was, but thanks very much for asking. One of the 7, probably. But thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Okay, so it looks like everybody's doing pretty well. I think we're doing everybody. Most people have got most of those questions quite right, but don't worry if you haven't. Brian Hasrick says hello, Brian. Jamie Davis, he's constructed his own lightsaber. Is that true? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. There you go. Reese says, I guess Vader is the German word for father, which I think it is. It's Dark Father, I think, if I remember correctly. Darth Vader in German. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Dark Father.
Unfortunately, we didn't put that as a question, but maybe we should have done. So there we go. So I think we'll go straight to we'll do the answers and we'll take it from there. So I think we'll see it though. So number 1, in the scene from Rogue One, you see Vader and he's having a talk with Orson Krennic. Didn't go too well, did it, Orson? So anyway, does Vader say to Orson to end the conversation?
Choke on your aspirations.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Spence, that's your line, not mine. Come on now.
Yeah, come on.
Very good. Well done. Yes, you got that right. You've got 1 point. So again, if anyone's at home, if you say a little bit off, you still get the point. So we just need to know the gist of the thing. We're not going to be that mean yet.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Who does the voice of Darth Vader for question 2?
General Jones.
James Earl Jones. Very, very good. That's excellent. Quite right. 1 point to everyone who got that right. Number 3. Vader declares, now I am the master, when he confronts Obi-Wan Kenobi. But what is Obi-Wan Kenobi's reply?
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Yes.
Very good. You said that perfectly.
Nice.
Very
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
Very well. Well done.
It's not my first rodeo, even though I'm in Virginia City.
There you go. Well, you got it right. If you got that, you got a point. Okay, where are we now? Number 4. In The Empire Strikes Back, who does Darth Vader choke to death for incompetence? Is it Admiral Ozzel, Captain Antilles?
No.
Admiral Ozzel.
Admiral Ozzel. Yes,
Yes.
quite right. Obviously, he does choke Captain Antilles as well, but he did that in the earlier movie. He should choke Captain Underpants. General Veers is probably the only one who did a good job in the Empire, apart from Vader. He's still alive. And oddly enough, Julian Glover is in Game of Thrones. So maybe you know him. So there you go. That's quite at one point. Now the hard question. How many rebels are killed by Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One?
A lot.
If I remember correctly,
Go ahead. It's not 6. You're miles off.
no. If I remember
9?
correctly, right? If I remember correctly, it was Dan that did the killing anyway. But I've watched
Okay.
it and I've studied it. When I've watched it about 10 times, my friends have filmed. I reckon there was about 10 in the corridor,
Right, that's
and
correct.
once the door shuts, there's 3 afterwards.
Yes, that's right. It's 13.
Ooh.
Right. And I would
Savage.
say that is a very me and Chris watched this and we had to turn the brightness up, and in the first scene there was a lot more people in that corridor. If you even if you pause it, you can see them. There's a lot more people in that corridor than you would think. We originally thought it was 12 and then we found out another person. So yes, 13 is spot on.
Now, if I remember
Spot
correctly,
on.
though, I think Spence almost killed the director in the corridor, but
Very
Maybe he
closely,
did.
very closely.
But he wasn't in that
But
scene.
it wasn't me. It was Dan.
no, he was in the scene right after, I think.
Very good. So that's quite right. So well done. That's exactly 13 was right. It is a difficult score, but that's why we made it a hard question. In Return of the Jedi, when Luke surrenders and gives his thing to Vader, he says, "Your skills are complete." What is he talking about? Is it constructed his own lightsaber, destroyed the Death Star, seen a vision of the future, or had a lovely new haircut? Lightsaber, correct again.
Yeah.
That is perfect. Well done. So, and the bonus
Right, well.
question, I think we'll ask Spencer this because I think he knows. I hope he knows. Who? You and David Prowse did a very famous movie monster. What was the monster you played?
Well, I'll give you a clue. He's alive.
Quite
The Frankenstein
Frankenstein.
We actually did a Minotaur in Doctor Who together as
You
well.
did. That's quite. In fact, that's
yeah.
the second thing I was going to mention. But that's brilliant. Yes,
Right.
indeed. So yes, David Prowse did the Hammer House horror ones, and he did a fairly dodgy Bond movie, which no one ever talks about. Spencer did a very big budget version of Frankenstein with
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe for Harry Potter, who you obviously worked with before. So really big budget film. And yes, you're quite right. You were both also in Doctor Who as the Minotaur as well. I think.
Well, he was 1972, Dave.
That's
Prowse,
right,
you know,
yeah, with John
when
Pertwee.
I was born in 1972.
Oh, really?
Isn't it funny, the big circle, you know what I mean?
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And then
mad.
I think yours was with Matt Smith, I think, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, I did
yeah,
the
and
Matt
so
Smith
it's
era. Yeah.
a cracking one. I did find out another connection. It's not as good as those, but it is nevertheless a connection. You also are in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well.
Yeah. What did?
So Dave was funnily enough a bit typecast as Dave at times. He was a bodyguard
Right.
for Pot Black, the musician in the original one, and I think you were a Vogon warrior or something like that.
Yeah, I was the Vogon soldier, because there's lots of Vogon soldiers in it.
Yeah.
I was the Vogon soldier number 1. I was the guy that lowered them into the chamber. Resistance is futile from the door. I'm the one that falls over the bush and stuff like that, you know, and throw them down the corridor, you know, chucking them into the chamber as well. Yeah, so, yeah, good fun.
Brilliant. So there you go. So if you're looking for connections, there's a fair few.
Yeah.
With that. So but lovely. Oh, Brian Hasrick has donated some money to the charity as well. Thank you so much, Brian. You have got 2 extra bad guys doing points. Very well done. And obviously you can donate one to anybody you like, even me.
Beautiful.
But I won't get any points. It doesn't really matter. So there you go. But thank you so much, Brian. You've done a fantastic job. Excellent. Well done. I'll just see if we've missed anybody else over there. Jeremiah Jones has got 6 points out of that. So he's done quite well out of 7. Very, very good. And there we go. So we'll have a look. So we'll start with Chris. How many points did you get, Chris?
I got 5 this time.
5 is good. 5 is good. Magdalena, how many did you get?
6.
6 is very good. Spence, how many did you get? 7. So there you go.
Hang on,
Not
7.
to be expected, as he is the Dark Lord. Should know more about Darth Vader
First time
than
it's ever
anyone.
happened.
Well done.
Whoa. Take it
Yeah,
easy.
I mean, obviously, yeah. Some of the other rounds are a little harder if they're not so Darth Vadery, but that's an excellent job. So well done. If you've done any good at home, you've done very well. That's excellent. Well done. We're going to do a picture round. This one, if I remember what it is, let's have a quick look here, is all about creatures and monsters. So this is a bit of a celebration to anyone who does creatures and monsters like Stents, because we like creatures and monsters in Star Wars. And I'm going to start with this. So these are just 6 pictures. Don't worry if you don't know them. You know, we only expect about half to get right, so take it from there. So this is question 1. So I don't need a difficult name, just a very basic. Spence, can you still see all right, mate?
I can see, yeah, my brother called through. I just deleted the.
Oh, there's always one, isn't there? Always your brother
Yeah,
calling.
my brother.
Mine's like that as well.
Never
Never,
wilded.
he always calls at the wrong time, if you ask me. Always wants money, my brother. So there you go. Right.
Money
Okay.
or Minox? I don't know which.
Could be either, couldn't it? Yeah, could be
Could
from
be
Star
both.
Trek.
Could
So
be
this
both.
is question one. What is this character called? Just a very simple name. What's the name of this show? Number 2. This is from the animated series, The Clone Wars. So if you haven't watched the animated series, you probably won't know it. But what do they call this beast? It's a connection to Godzilla, as a bit of a clue, but it's not a very good clue. So that's question 2. Question 3. This is a bit more well known from The Empire Strikes Back. What do you call that creature? And again, just the basic name is fun. So what do you call that creature? That is number 3, I think. Yep. So this one is, I think, the hardest question in the whole round. We're not talking about Bodhi. We're talking about the tentacles that surround him. I know some people think Bodhi's a bit of a beast, but he's not. It's a lovely man. So the creature that wraps his tentacles around him, do you know the name of that creature? And he's mentioned quite a lot by Saw Gerrera, but again, it's one of those names I tend to forget myself quite often, and I did the quiz. This one is a little bit more well known. This is question 5. Won't give you any clues on that because I'm sure you manage it. And we'll go straight to question 6. And again, this is a more well-known character, or beastie. But what is the name of that character as well? Ginny Lindquist, which I imagine is probably from Poland.
No, that's
No.
our GCO in the Golden Gate Garrison.
I'm sorry there.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Looks like-
Well
looks like
done
me in the morning,
again.
doesn't
That's
it?
very good. Right. So that's the end of that round for that. So that was the picture round. Fantastic. So this is question number 1. What would we call this beast or creature?
Tribble. A tribble.
Tribble.
Definitely
Could
a
call it a tribble. You won't get any
Yeah.
points for a tribble.
I'm guessing it looks like some sort of slug. I don't know. Is
It
a
is. It's
slug?
a space slug. Quite right. Exactly.
Oh,
Or,
like
Pictogore.
Lovely job. This one I said. This one. If you haven't seen the animated series, you won't know it. If you don't, you do. What do they normally call this one?
Yellow.
Very good, Magdalena. I didn't.
Wow.
Very impressed. Yeah, the Zillow
it's a-
beast. It's named after
Zillow.
God.
You got
It's
that.
only in one
Yeah.
episode, but it's a very popular character. So Zillow Beast
Yeah.
is correct, but it is a hard
Yeah.
question, that one. So well done. This
Yeah.
one, what do we call this fella?
Wampa.
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 It was the Wampa.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wampa.
Yes.
Everyone likes a Wampa. Now, what about this one? Rogue One.
Or Gullet.
Boar
Yeah.
Gullets.
Oh, got it.
Somebody watches a lot of Rogue One, I think, don't we, Magdalena?
Yeah.
Right. What about this
Rancor.
one?
Corby.
Rancor Beast. And the last one,
Sarlacc.
the Sarlacc. Excellent again.
That's me in the mornings. That is.
It is. Everyone's like that.
That's only me before coffee.
Well, yeah.
Gotta see
Maybe
the
should have a
after coffee.
T-shirt like this, saying how I feel like before. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll just do points, and then we'll do a couple of questions from the audience as well. So, Chris, how many did you get right?
3 points.
3. Oh dear, Chris, you do need help from the people at home, don't you?
No,
I
the
know,
four.
and they're not giving me anything right now. I'm transferring to Poland at this point.
I think you need the help from Poland. To be honest with you, Magdalena, how are you doing here? How many points did you get?
I have 6 points.
6. Very, very good. That's very good. Very surprising,
This
but
time 6
excellent.
points.
And Spence, how did you do?
Only 5 on that one.
5. Well, 5 is excellent, so pretty
Yeah.
good. So yeah, you do pretty well. We have a question from Dan Jacobs. He says, Spence, how are you doing? What's
I'm
the
good, Dan.
worst part of the costume? He means Darth Vader, I think.
Yeah, there's no worst part. Everything was. It fitted like a glove. It was beautiful with me. It was my own spaceship, and it was a Darth Vader costume. It breathed well. It moved well. The boots fitted. The helmet was so comfy. It was
That's
I
cool.
have a question. Hey, Spence, I got a question for you.
Yeah, man.
So the original costume, I've always noticed the only way you get any vision is to look down through the chin vent. Is the new helmet that you were wearing the same way, or could you see out the eyes?
No, you could see out the eyes, but when you walk through the steam, you had to use the force then because everything went dark.
Yeah.
So between that, you just had to use the force. So it's all right.
Perfect.
Got away with it in time. And,
Yeah.
but obviously, I think you said, I can't remember if you said it on live or before. They were very, very secretive for your part anyway. The
Very.
Star Wars never really like to tell anybody who's going to get the role, especially when it's Darth Vader. So, how did they fit you up for the costume? Did they measure you up and didn't tell you what they were making, or?
Well, literally, this is the way it was. I had like 3 self-takes before we actually got to the studios, and when we had the final audition, they brought us into the studios. There's a little tent in one of the rooms. He put on there was the boots, everything was there, and it all fitted. It was like Cinderella, if the slipper fitted, and it really did. It fitted like a glove. You know,
That's very lucky.
very lucky. You know, I had to chop my toes off. I had to chop
Yeah.
my toes off, but it worked.
I suppose in a really good way as well, because like you said, you're a little bit actually taller than David Prowse. I think
I'm an inch or two taller.
Yeah, because I think he's 6'6", 6'7", but
Yeah,
obviously
the same
shrunk a
sort
little
of
bit.
frame.
Dave was
the same sort of frame.
And Dave was, if I remember correctly, Dave was 6'7" in A New Hope, but then he's the spinal compression problem with his hips. He was like 6'4" with Empire and Jedi.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
luckily Spencer's still a bit taller, so that's
Just a
nothing to
little
worry
bit.
about. Yeah. So very good. But yes, I guess, but because the costume you're wearing is based on the original costume, so
That's
if
right.
it's designed on that, it's going to fit you pretty much spot on.
That's it. You know, after about, if you're in the suit for like 10, 12, like 10, 11 hours, you just feel, because Dave Prowse's shoulders were shaped a little bit more forward than me, obviously because of the weightlifting and stuff.
Yeah.
You could just feel it so you just have to stretch your back out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But you could feel the shape coming there. It turned your body starts to change shapes into Dave's shoulders, you know?
Oh, in fact, that's quite a good question, which I just thought of now. How long did you? I mean, so you couldn't really get out of the costume. They sort of dressed you, and you had to wear it pretty much all day.
You take the lid off, for lunch and things like that. And if you had to go for a number 2 or a number 1 or whatever, for a little loo break, you would have an assistance, taking it off.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's the same for the costumes we have, but the 501 ones most people make are sort of almost sewn up at the back,
Well,
So
we've got different styles. So ours, I wear a 2-piece, but a lot of guys will wear a 3-piece, which is pants with suspenders and then a mesh shirt with sleeves and then a vest over the top.
Yeah.
It's similar.
So if anyone at home wants to know, there you go.
There you go.
There we go. Right. Let's have a quick look here. We'll just see how everyone is doing at home. Thank you, everybody, for watching as well. You're doing a fantastic job. And everybody, again, thank you very much for donating for the charity. The Alder Hey Children's Kidney Fund is a very important charity and helps out so many children. The actual hospital itself, which is Children's Hospital, helps out 330,000 children per year. The kidney department is a part of that, but obviously, like us, we're all in a pandemic and have a little bit of a problem sometimes raising money. So any amount would make a big difference. But we're going to talk about that a bit more properly with Spence after the next round. We'll have a little break and we'll talk about it, a bit more in depth. But as we've already been on for 42 minutes, we better be a bit quicker. Marcus, thank you so much. You've also just donated some money as well. You are a gem. Thank you very much as well. Let's get on with the quiz before it becomes midnight and Spence turns into a real werewolf. Might do. Okay, so this is about the Emperor Palpatine. So we talked about Darth Vader. Let's talk about his boss. Okay, number 1. Where was Palpatine born? A little bit of a hard one if you don't know it. Was he born in Exegol, Kamino, Naboo, or Corellia? So where was Palpatine actually born? Was it Exegol, Kamino, Naboo, or Corellia? That's question 1. Question 2. What is Palpatine's Sith name? Is it A, Darth Sidious, B, Darth Bane, C, Darth Vader, or D, Dark Helmet? Which of those is correct? Is it Darth Sidious, Darth Bane, Darth Vader, or Dark Helmet?
Dark Helmet. That's what everybody calls me at troops anyway. It's like, oh, look, there goes Dark Helmet.
How tall are you, Chris, by the way?
6'4".
6'4", too short.
Oh, he's a big boy. You're a big boy.
Pretty big.
I do an Empire Strikes Back Vader, so I'm good for
Go.
that. But I wouldn't want to do in A New Hope. I think you need the extra inch or 2.
You might do. There you go. That's cool. Right, let's get on to the next question. Okay, where are we now? What is the number rule about Siths? What is the number rule about Siths? Or how many they could be? True or false? This is question 4. The first on-screen appearance of the Emperor was played by a woman called Marjorie. Is that true or false? So the first appearance of the Emperor was played by a woman called Marjorie. Is that made up or a lie? Or is it true? Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I've just typed in 6 twice. Which Jedi disfigured Palpatine's face during a duel? Was it A, Yoda? Was it B, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Was it C, Mace Windu? Or was it D, Grandmaster Jar Jar? One disfigured Palpatine's face. Yoda,
absolutely Jar Jar.
I would have said so. Jar. Mace Windu or Grandmaster Jar Jar?
I particularly
always Jar Jar.
He always made a funny face when he saw Jar Jar. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And the last question of this round is, who was the Sith Lord that Palpatine served under as a Sith apprentice? So we don't want to know who his apprentice is. Sorry, we want to know who was his master when Palpatine was being his sort of the learner, and he did something nasty to him as well. There we go. So I won't give you a multiple choice because I think that's quite easy. So that's the end of that round. We'll just have a quick look at home to see how everybody's doing as well. But I think everyone's doing quite well. So Jeremiah Jones has got a correct answer. Well done. Magdalena, yes, she says something and she is correct. I can't say what it is. Julian Evans says Windu. Missy Ann says Yoda. So did Yoda disfigure his face? Maybe, maybe not. Let's find out. I think everybody else is doing that. Amanda Mappers, Julian Evans, James Davis. You've all done a very good job. So very, very good at home. Well done. Right. So we'll just do that. And then we'll go straight on to a bit about the charity, which we'll talk about that in a second. So where was Palpatine born? Was it Exegol, Camino, Naboo, or Corellia?
Naboo. I say Naboo.
He was
Naboo.
senator of Naboo.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I think it's the outer rim of Naboo. Quite right. So, what is Palpatine's Sith name? Is it Darth Sidious? Darth
Sidious.
Yeah.
You won't get a point for this. Who is Darth Need? It's very difficult. It's Gonzo from the Muppets. He's Darth Vader. He did the parody version in the 80s. Yes, I knew having funny looking faces. That doesn't make any sense. And obviously, a dark helmet. We know that might be. What is the number rule about the Sith? 2 at only time, correct? Yeah, although it's more of a guideline than a rule because they break it all the time. But yes, it's supposed to be 2, but they never stick with it. True or false? The first on-screen appearance of the Emperor was played by a woman called Marjorie.
Partially true.
Well, you see it, so it's true. I'd say true.
Well, the eyes were not Marjorie, just the mouth.
The eyes are a chimp. Yeah, the eyes are a superimposed chimp.
Yep.
But I'd say the full bodiness of it was mainly Marjorie, so I'd say it's true. So there you go. Yes, she was most well known for Mary Poppins. She was a flower girl in that. So anybody look it up. And obviously the voice was a different person as well till later, and that was changed too. Bit of an odd one, but there you go. Right. Which Jedi disfigured Palpatine's face during a duel?
Mace.
Is Mace. That's correct. And the last question, nasty old Mace Window ruining the Palpatine's lovely face. And number 6, who was the Sith Lord that Palpatine served under as a Sith apprentice?
Plagueis
the Wise. Ironically wise, because he obviously wasn't. There you go. So very, very good. That's excellent. So let's do points. So Chris, how many did you get right? I think you did better.
I got 100% this time.
6 points. Very good. You need it. So that's good. Well done. Magdalena?
6 points.
6 for you. And Spence? 5's good. 5's good. We like that. So very, very good. So that's the end of that round. One of the reasons that we picked this charity is it's quite dear to Spence's heart. So if Spence wouldn't mind just basically just telling us a little bit about the charity in his own words, we'd love to know.
Right. Okay. So my son's got nephrotic syndrome, right? And we had no idea what nephrotic syndrome was, right? So when my boy was 5 years old, we got him a new bed, and he was a really, really good sleeper. So we went to bed about 6
up a
or
few
7
pictures while we're doing this as well.
6 or 7 in the evening, you know. And then he come down after about an hour of going to sleep, and all his face was swollen up. And we thought he had a reaction to the bed or something, you know. So we didn't want to mess around. We got him straight to the hospital, and they done lots and lots of tests on him. And then they said, well, we're afraid he's got nephrotic syndrome. And we said, well, what's this? Well, it's when the kidneys leak protein, and it is a killer. It's taken a lot of people. Jonah Loma, who used to play for the All Blacks, he had kidney dialysis and stuff like that it did take him. So after several months of chemo and steroids and a lot of praying, he's got through it. So fingers crossed, he's still good. And now he's 15. So there's
cool.
a lot of people that suffer with this. So they do need as much help as they can, you know.
Yeah, that's lovely for you to share that with us as well, and thank you so much for sort of telling us what happened as well. But yes, I mean you're quite right. I mean, and I've said it before. The pandemic is a terrible thing, and actually it's hampered a lot of fundraising for so many charities that we as the 501st normally actually would do look after, but we just can't really go out and fundraise. And unfortunately, that's not just us that's affected. Lots of other people that would normally look after the charity, like the Older Hay one, haven't really had the chance to really help out at all, because there's been nowhere that they can go out and help raise the money that they would normally get every single year. So any amount, even £1 or $1 or €1 would make a massive difference. So you're quite right. But and like you said, I mean, without the support that I think Spence's sons had, it would have been quite disastrous, really, you know.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference on everybody's life, and it's lovely to hear that he's doing all right, really, and he's 15, and he's obviously got to be a bit careful, but
Mm.
he's doing pretty well, I hope,
No,
and
he's
hopefully
doing
that'll
good.
continue.
Starting to
It's so
grow now
nice.
as well. He's massive now. He's nearly 6 foot tall. Because I didn't start growing until I was 15. I was average height, and then I grew a foot in a year. Woof! So that's
Wow.
what's happening to the boys now. Yeah,
I wish
yeah,
that happened to me. I'm
yeah,
still 5'2", so
yeah.
I'm still waiting for the growth spurt. So, and I'm 43. Oh, sorry, 44. Let's see if we got any more questions. Oh well, Ben Williams said he said how is it working on the Batman movie? Because I think you did Batman Begins, that's
That's
quite a long
right. Yeah.
time ago, wasn't it?
Well, that was my second film. I was working on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Batman Begins at the same time. League of the Shadows Warrior 1. I'm the guy that burns down Batman's house.
Oh, cool.
Tick that one off. Burn down Batman's house. Tick that one off. Yeah. So I was there was five League of the Shadows, and I was number one. Good mate of mine, Dave Legino, who's passed away now. He
Oh,
was Khan Boff, who sadly passed away as well. So
oh dear.
yeah. But you know what? I believe when you go on screen, you last forever. Your soul lasts forever. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're quite right, and it is a memory. I don't think about mentioning, and I think we should. Obviously, we lost someone else this weekend, which is Chadwick Boseman.
Very
He was a
sad.
fantastic actor, and
Yeah.
and unfortunately, wasn't really very old. I think 43. So
That's
really,
right.
we saw some fantastic work, but there would have been much more coming. And I think all of us here, it's really the deepest sympathies to his family and anyone who knew him. That you've lost such a fantastic person. And I read something which I thought was fantastic as well. That even though he wasn't very well, he had this for I think 4 years, didn't he? Colonel
4 years, yeah.
He was still visiting people and children in hospital to see if they're okay.
This
Other
shows
children with
what a
cancer.
beautiful soul he was. What a
Yeah.
beautiful soul he was.
So sometimes the best of people we lose so early. So I think it's worth saying that, and it's really a.
Yeah, yeah.
We really missed the guy, and anyone who knew him, deepest sympathy, and a lovely man. If, I watched Black Panther last night, and it's a fantastic film. I've seen it
Yeah.
before, but
Brilliant film.
if it felt nice to watch it again, I thought so, and hopefully we'll see him and he's going to be in the second movie as well, so it'll be a lovely thing to watch as well when it comes out. But it's such a shame.
So I have an update for you, Robin.
Oh, here we go.
219 today so far. We have some stuff from earlier this week, but
Right.
219 today so far.
Yeah, it's about another
Brilliant.
100 on top of that, so that's cool. So that's good. So
That's
there we
awesome.
go. Things are looking up, so there we go. But yes, I think that'll do for that. But again, the button's up and down, and we'll take it from there. I was going to ask you a question about Vader, but I've forgotten completely what I was going to say now. So yes, I've talked a lot about David Press, but I will say it again. He did contact you before you could really say you were Vader.
Well, it got leaked that Spencer Wilder was, seen in the costume and reading on set for Vader, and 12 months before our contract was up, before we could say anything, and that was like a week before the film came out. So if I had $1 or £1 for everybody said, "Are you Darth Vader?" I'd have my own Death Star right now. So, but Dave Prowse, he got in touch with me after the rumors started coming out, and probably one of the hardest things I had to say or not say to Dave was, "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't confirm or deny I'm the character." So I had to keep it professional, because that's what we do. Once we've signed a dotted line, you keep the magic in the film.
Yeah, but I think also he was actually quite chuffed that you were doing it as well, which
Of course
I think
he was.
lovely.
I've known Dave for over 10 years because I've been doing Comic-Con circuit for over 10 years. So when I met Dave for the first time, I think it was in Wigan Comic-Con or something like that. It was really a small Comic-Con. And I went over to the table, I shook his hand, and he lifted his head up, and he gave me, there was a little thing that passed there for a minute, I was like, what? But Dave's a great man. I love being at the Comic-Cons. I hope he's keeping well. But I know he's not doing the Comic-Cons anymore. But I wish him well.
Yeah,
The
I'm
force
sure he is.
strong.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's 85 now, so
Yeah.
he's had a very good run with doing
course he
monster
has.
characters. So
Yeah,
and made the movie, and now you're sort of you know, following up in a bigger way, really, you know, and you've done a lot more movies. And one I didn't mention earlier is that you've worked with a lot of actors. Robert De Niro in
Robert De
Stardust.
Niro, yeah, that's right. He was. I'll tell you the story about Bob. We were filming. I was like one of 5 pirates. Me and Dexter Fletcher, Gorgeous George, and a few others. We were filming in Shepperton Studios. And the first time we met Mr. De Niro, he walked into the room, and first thing he said, "I answered to Bob. That's my name, Bob." So that's pretty cool. So I wanted to call him Mr. De Niro, but we respect him. It's his name, so we called him Bob.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, and you got to work for him for a long time as well. And obviously, and there's a lot of actors you worked with. Chris Hemsworth in Men in Black, and Ryan Reynolds, which a lot of people would love to work with.
They're great guys,
Yeah,
I've worked with the latest Fast and Furious as well. Hobbs and Shaw, worked with Jason Statham, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, I've worked with so many people I've looked up to as well when I was a kid as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's beautiful to be around these guys.
Excellent, brilliant. Well, I'm sure a lot of people going on to work with you think the same way now, don't they? So think, oh yeah, Spencer Wilding's in the show. I better hang out with that guy. So brilliant. Okay, so where are we now? I think we've done. Oh yes, sorry. Carry on, Magdalena. Please. Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask. We talking about actors, so I want to ask how it was like working with Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, I didn't know that was coming. Yeah, when we're on, it was a very serious set. Star Wars, not too much messing about going on. We had to do our job, and you know, Vader's a very serious character as well. So I normally mess about on set, but I wasn't allowed to. The character wouldn't let me allowed to. But there was a moment there on set with Ben Mulverdon. I was filming with him, and we were talking. We were having a proper fight going on, you know, with Ben and Darth. And then the director came and stood between us and just put his back to me, and he was saying something to Ben, and then he turned to me and goes, "Right, yeah, carry on," because the character was when the presence of Darth Vader is in the room, you know about it, you know, because he's very real. And then I had to wait over 12 months to see what Gareth Edwards said, right? And he was doing an interview, and he brought it up, but it just come to my mind because I always wondered, what was he talking to Ben? Was I doing my job right? What was going on? Blah 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 blah. And he turned around and Ben went, "That's the real Darth Vader, mate," because he really felt the presence. No, carry on, because Darth Vader was in the room, and you know when he's in the room, man, he's a powerful soul.
Go on, Chris. Sorry.
I wanted to ask you. I think, you know, I talked to a lot of people about the hallway scene at the Tantive at the end of the film, and I think everybody kind of agrees that the two things that really created a payoff for us as fans were, one, like the presence of Darth Vader you were just talking about in that scene was absolutely shocking. It was terrifying. And I don't think many of us felt like that, you know, since like 1977 when Vader first stormed onto the Tantive in A New Hope. And the other part of it was we finally got to see, I think, the Vader we all wanted to see, which is fully armored, fully combative, whipping a laser sword around, using all of his kind of Mauler abilities, you know, for the first time, really, really prepared. How did you prepare for that scene? I mean, you didn't have a lot to go for.
That scene wasn't me. That was Dan LaPluse, because two of us play it. But there's a presence. There's one presence, and he takes over me and Dan. When you get in that costume and you get into the character, he takes over. And Dan's a sword master. He's one of the best in the world with them guys. Brilliant horse rider as well. And that was his scene, and he just killed it, man. Well, he killed a lot of rebels anyway. But yeah, it was awesome. That's what the fans want to see. They want to see Vader kicking ass. That's what they want to do. They want to see it. And I did the other scenes, and I did the promotional work. But, you know, it was just awesome. You know, I was on the phone straight away to Dan after that and to congratulate him on the work he did, because it was awesome, man. And he said it back to me. It was great.
Yep.
Brilliant. Very good. And to be honest, it wouldn't be the same movie without Vader in all of the scenes altogether. No. So if you take away that, I mean, it's still a good film. Don't get me wrong. But it's not definitely it's the icing. It really is the icing on the cake and the fireworks. You know, and like, you know, if anyone says like, you know, what do you remember about Rogue One? There's a few moments, and a lot of the time they go, oh yeah, you know, when Darth Vader turned up.
I think the magic. I think the way you guys played Vader in Rogue One, in a lot of ways, is more iconic than even some of the later stuff. It really, it's awesome. We talk about it on The Detachment constantly. I mean, I just remember the days after that movie came out, we had probably 200% more activity than we'd ever had before, all talking about those scenes. It was great.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
true,
great,
actually.
it's great to be bringing the new stock, all the new kids, all the young kids back into the Star Wars with all these Star Wars films coming up.
Yeah.
So then you've got the new batch coming through now. So it's going to go on and on and on and on and on. It's awesome.
Absolutely amazing. Right, we better go on to another round because we've got 2 to go. So, but yeah, I think that's covered most of the questions that we want to know. Brittany Arles has also donated while we've been talking as well. So thank you so much again, Brittany. I don't think I've said that already. Thank you very much. If I've said it twice, I mean it twice. Well done. So there we go. So this is about famous Dark Lord. So a few of these are quite difficult if you haven't played computer games because they're not all about the film. So again, don't be too concerned if you don't get them all right because they are made to be a little bit harder. But what is the name of these characters? So most of them are Darth, some of them aren't. But that's what we'd like to know. In famous dark villains. This is question 1. What's the name of the character? So again, this is mainly a computer game character. Number 2, this is a character from the animated series. So he is connected with Darth Maul. It's not Darth Maul, in case you wondered. It's not bad lighting. It really isn't Darth Maul. This is another one. So this is question 2. Question 3, you probably might know this one. It's not a Darth, but he's definitely not a very nice man. So we call him a Dark Lord.
He's Gollum, right? I think that's Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And also in the Black Panther as well, oddly enough, we just saw last night. So played by Andy Serkis, but he doesn't look normally like that. Rumoured to be Darth Plagueis, but it's not Darth Plagueis, but it could be a clone of Darth Plagueis. Is that right? I think that's right. This one, I don't think has ever been in a live-action movie. If you know it, you do quite well.
Comic books mostly, I think.
Mostly comic books. I will give you multiple choice because I think it's a little bit of the hardest one. So is this Darth Talon, or is it Darth Claw, or is it Darth Tusk, or is it Darth Toenail? So is it Darth Talon, Darth Claw, Darth Tusk, or Darth Toenail? One of those is right. Right. So that is that one. And the next one, number 5. Which Darth
Vader? Hey, it's Darth Vader. That's amazing.
The worst, most evil, most powerful Dark Lord of all time. Who is this Darth person? If you know it, you've done very well. I'll give you an extra point if you know the character as well. So if you know the character inside, the actor inside, I'll give you another point because we're being nice today because everyone's being helpful. And this is the last one. Again, if you know computer games, you know it. If you don't, you might not so much. So that's number 6, and we'll take it from there. So I'll just go back to the share screen. Who is this Dark Lord?
Malak.
Darth Malak, or Malak. Very good. 1 point if you got it right. Well done. We'll do the next one. Who is this? What's that? Joe Press.
Press, yes.
Chris, one of the sons of Dathomir, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Well done. Okay. Who's this fella?
General Snakes.
It is. Quite right. General Snakes.
Gollum. Absolutely Gollum.
He is Gollum, yeah. So, the bad guy in Black Panther. Rock on. Very good act. What about this one? Is it Darth Talon, Darth Claw, Darth Tusk, or Darth Toenail? Talon, yes. Apparently was going to be in a film. George Lucas did want to put her in, but didn't for some reason. So, don't know why. Someone at home probably does. What is the name of the worst Lord of all time? Who's this?
Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet. Very, very good. Do you know, for extra bonus point, who is the actor who plays Dark Helmet?
Rick Moranis.
It is. Very, very good. Yes. Well done. So excellent if you knew that. And the last one here, which is, I think, it's probably a little bit harder if you don't know.
Darth Nihilus.
Darth Nihilus. Very, very good. So that is a 7-point round. Let's just pop off this. There we go. So how many points did we get here? Let's start with Chris.
6
for Chris. Lovely 6.
7.
Spence.
I only got 4.
4's all right. Yeah, 4's good. 4's good. 4's good. Well, you're a very popular man. You should do fine. So don't worry. I'm just going to add these up as we go along, just so I don't get behind myself. So take it from there. So let's just ask a quick question for Spence. I don't think I've had anybody. Oh, hey, Horny Pit Suttles. Do apologise for the mispronouncing of the name, as per usual. Bad reader. My daughter wants to know: Did you meet the voice actor for the Dalek in Doctor Who? I'm not sure what that means.
I've met a few of the actors that have played the Daleks, but I haven't met the voice guy that does all the voices for Doctor Who, because he's an oldest boy. He does all the voices. No, I haven't. But I've met a lot of the performers and actors in Doctor Who.
And you've met a lot of Doctor Who's as well.
If it's Tori Pitt that's speaking to me on Facebook, if it is, I'm sure her son's doing powerlifting or something like that. If it's the right one, I'm thinking of.
It sounds like it
From
would
America.
be. I think. Yeah, probably. Yeah, tell us if you are. We'll take it from there. We're up to $244 so far from today, but again, there's plenty of time to add on a little bit more if you feel like that. That would be absolutely fantastic. So I'm just came from there. So let's ask another one. Just one more question about Darth Vader as well. So we know about the suit. You got that suited up and the sort of impression of that as well. And yeah, keeping it quiet, that must have been hard, really.
Yeah, it was. We had, the Sun newspaper. The Sun newspaper. They travelled away from Wales, and they were front doorstepping me. That's really, really hard. So but I said to him, I said, "Where have you travelled from?" And he goes, "I've travelled from South Wales." And this is like a 5.5 hour drive to get. Sorry, I can't confirm or deny at the doorstep. So I said, "Come in for a cup of tea." So we come in for a cup of tea, which was quite shocked to come in to be invited in for a cup of tea. So my young boy Bobby, who's been poorly in the past, he comes in and he was really sneaky reporter what he did. As soon as my son came into the room, he goes, "So how is it having your dad play Darth Vader?" And my boy went, "Don't know what you're on about. Poker face. Woohoo!" You know what I mean?
That was lucky, did it? They'd just tell him everything. They'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What did you
So he
say?"
went, How much?
And when you were doing filming for Rogue One, I think it was mainly in the UK. Was that correct?
Our filming
Your
was
scenes?
all at Pinewood Studios. Our scenes,
Pinewood
yes,
Studios, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as I don't really know a lot about this, and I guess you do. Were the sets you were in were they mainly like real, or were they green screen, or a bit of both?
When me and Ben were like having our to do and walking through the steam and stuff like
Yeah.
that was a real set, but they would have had obviously in later
Elements,
on.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You know,
So like
you
the tank and the stuff was all
nobody
real.
could walk on set. Nobody can walk on set without the little covers over your feet because it was that shiny, shiny
All right.
black. Yes, there's no marks left at all because obviously the camera
Wow.
picked that up. So yeah, it was an amazing set. Yeah, the set incredible job.
Yeah, and I think when you turned up to the studios, that they had to cover your head so people couldn't see you as well when you went in.
When I first for the last audition,
hiding.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
that's cool.
Because there was that much heat around who was going to be playing Darth Vader, and I filmed several times in Palmer Studios, lots of times. So if Spencer Wilding's turning up, as well as auditioning's taking place, 6'7".
Yeah, it's pretty good chance it's you. Yeah,
yeah.
That's cool. Okay, right. Well, thanks for that. If anybody would like a few more questions, we've only got one round left. What's your silliest thing that's ever happened on set? Any film?
Oh,
and was it your fault?
I'm a bit of a show off. Sometimes with my characters, especially if my characters are showing off. I remember first filming on the Game of Thrones in Tullamore in Belfast. There was 2 extras and there's 2 actors, right? Myself and Ian White. And there was a camera on a track through the woods, because it looked like there was snow all over the floor, but it was white paper, movie magic. It was in the middle of the summer holidays. So I'm running and our feet, we had basically slippers on. So the set wasn't really dressed properly because there was little roots sticking up here and there, so you'd feel them on your feet. So I thought, right, you're the guys who've got running forward with their swords, their ice swords in front of them, right? So I thought I'll turn mine behind so it looks cooler. So I'm running, and the camera's like on a 100-meter track. And there's a ditch. So I jump over the ditch, throw a nice shape in the air for the camera profile, and land and keep on going, right? So I showing off, and I jumped up through a nice shape going over the ditch. I landed on a branch, fell back straight into the water, and come up with a frog on my head. You know what I mean? One of them. Like, ooh, did anybody see that? Yeah, the whole world. So little things like that. I used to love on the Wolfman set. I used to. There's a time where we were filming at Greenwich Naval College, and we were on day shoots for this specific one. It was later on. So I was in the makeup chair, let's say about 10 o'clock, in the morning. So I was on set for 4 in the afternoon. And we were going through the city bit there. We were at traffic lights. Because I'm covered in blood and goo and all that, the posh driver cars, they didn't want me in that, because I'm going to leave marks all over the seats. So they shoved me in the minibuses, right? So they put me in the minibus and we're parked up at traffic lights. So I'm in full get-up here. Nobody knows that the Wolfman's filming there. And there's this little kid with his mum at the traffic lights, right? They're blacked out windows so they can't see. You know what I mean? So there's a kid looking at the bus. So I put the window down and I'm in full makeup. So I'm looking because the mum wasn't looking at us. And you can see it in the mirror. Mum is a monster, is a monster. And you just see this kid get slapped. Stop lying. Oh, anyway. It was one of them. Little moments like that. That's lovely. You got to have your giggle.
Cracking. Okay, I'll keep any parts of any costume.
No,
probably not Darth Vader. I wouldn't have thought.
No, I just come away with memories.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might get a little bit off a set here and there, but it just is a gift of the director or the production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the Play-Doh, probably.
Yeah, no. On Harry Potter, they gave us some a beautiful plaster ornament of sculpted of the wolf, of the werewolf, little gifts like
cool.
that.
That's nice.
So
Yeah.
really cool things like that. So I've got my mum's farm. We've got a little cabinet with a couple of things from the films, which is lovely.
Yeah.
The shame you didn't get to keep the lightsaber.
Isn't it? Yeah, no. That was the last thing that got on my belt just before we take shot, because that went on with delicacy, because when they're putting the helmet on you, you're in the mode then, so they are treating you like Darth Vader, the Lord. You know what I mean? Darth Lord. So but it's pretty special to have that lightsaber hanging up on you.
Maybe we can find you a nice one somewhere, perhaps, if we're lucky.
Thanks.
The other thing, I've got to get to the quiz, but okay. But you did a really cool procession, I think, in Rhyl, didn't you, as Vader as well, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, because Rhyl, because I live in North Wales right? A place called Rhyl. It's a small town. We've got a little town called Disney, Prestatyn, Merlin, Tywyn, Abergele, all these little towns around the North Wales coast. And I'm the kid that's done good in town. I was a professional fighter in the beginning, like we were saying, and the whole town used to turn out for me and support me. So, and they've followed my path all the way through. So I wanted to give a little bit more back. So we did a little premiere at the local cinema, The View in Rhyl, and I got all the stormtroopers, all the cosplayers, all from different groups. They all come down. Paul Brady from the Superheroes sorted a lot out. Lee from another show, for a big promoter, sorted guys out. They come from Scotland, come all the way down. They didn't ask for nothing but love, and I signed a picture for them at the end of it. And I remember I was saying to the guys, because I've worked the bars and the clubs a lot as well, and so I had one of the bars that everybody could get dressed into their cosplays. So this was about 5 o'clock, and I thought, I put my head out the window, and there was nobody still there, but there was the news channels there, BBC One, ITV, Channel 4, they were all there, ready, and there was nobody there. And I thought, I'm sorry, guys, it's in a week, because nobody really turned up. So 45 minutes later, they're all getting dressed. It's okay, Spen, we're here to support you. I said, that's beautiful, guys, beautiful. Anyway, an hour passes, we come out of the pub, and you could not see anything but people. Thousands of people turned out for it. They must have just all turned up at the same time. And it was just like a 2-minute walk from the pub, less than that, 30 seconds, a walk from the pub to the cinema. It took me an hour and a half to get to the cinema door. It was amazing.
People love it. That's what they do.
Love it.
We're going to do the last round, which is about imperial vehicles. So, imperial vehicles, round 5, question 1. Which Star Wars movie do we first see a speeder bike chase? So it's just the movie I need to know. Which Star Wars movie do we first see a speeder bike chase?
Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, right?
It could be that, yes.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, you put that down and we'll see what you get.
I did.
Number 2. In Rogue One, what were the tanks escorting through the city of Jeddah? So the tanks that you see are escorting something very particular through the city, but what are they escorting? Is it prison? Is it Kyber crystals? Is it schematics to the Death Star? Or is it blue milk?
Blue milk. What is in that blue milk?
Definitely blue milk.
Well, Gina made this, but I don't know what's happened to it. I think it's very minty.
I think it's gone bad.
That looks good. That looks good.
It's not bad. I've had worse.
I don't think that's good anymore.
I like getting a glass full of ice cream and putting Coca-Cola over the ice cream.
I do.
And with a spoon. Ooh, so good, so good.
No, I'm a little bit off topic. When I was a bit younger, we always used to go to this bar and they used to do Bailey's and ice cream.
Oh yeah,
that was all right. I made that into a milkshake. I'm a bit older now. I don't go out anymore. At home. I have tea instead. Okay, right. So yes, what were they escorting? Prisoners, Kyber crystals, schematics to the Death Star, or my blue milk? What were they doing? So that's in Rogue One with the tanks. Number 3, true or false? The very first ship you see on screen in the 1977 movie Star Wars: A New Hope was an Imperial Star Destroyer. True or false? So was the very first ship you see on screen an Imperial Star Destroyer? True or false? Number 4. What type of Imperial vehicle was Rey using as a makeshift home at the start of the movie Star Wars A Force Awakens? So she's living in something in particular. That's an Imperial vehicle. But what is the Imperial vehicle she's living in? Number 5. In Return of the Jedi, in Return of the Jedi, what did Han Solo tell Chewbacca to do when they were using their stolen shuttle to pass the Imperial destroyers to get down to Endor? Did he say, put the pedal to the metal? Did he say, fly casual? Did he say, let them eat static? Or did he say, turn tail at the first sign of trouble? Which of those is correct? So when Han Solo and Chewbacca were hanging down, going past the ships, going down to Endor, what did he tell Chewbacca to do? Did he say, put pedal to the metal, fly casual, let them eat static, or turn tail at the first sign of trouble? That's question 5.
It was beam them up, I'm sure.
It probably was beat them up. Yeah, attack, flying
and it
speed.
wasn't. It was Scotty that was driving it.
It would have helped. He could have beaten them down, couldn't he?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There you go. And number 6, which is the last question of today. So hopefully you've enjoyed the quiz with us too. Is a hard question. Well, I think it's a hard question anyway. Is what does the 3 letters in TIE, T-I-E, what do they stand for? So it's a TIE fighter, but it's an acronym for something important. I'm not going to give you a multiple choice question because I tried to write them down and they all sound fake apart from the real one. So it is a hard question. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. It's fair enough. Don't worry. It's not the end of the world.
The thing is, that one's not hard if you had the toy back in 1978.
If you have the
they
toy.
had it on the box. Yeah.
But if you haven't, then you won't know. So the letters TIE, T-I-E, stand for something in particular on a TIE fighter. What do they stand for? Some people will know. So if you do, you don't, you don't, you do. Okay. So, right. I'm going to give you the answers now. And hopefully everybody has done all right. The people at home do know that answer. 2 of you anyway. So James Davis, well done. Magna, I will do our question for Spencer in a minute as well. So don't worry as well. You've also done very well. And Jeremiah Jones, you've also done very well. Magna apparently says that was an easy question. I'm not very good at doing quizzes. So there you go. We'll see what everybody else thinks. So here come the answers. So number 1, in which Star Wars movie do we first see the speeder bike?
Return of the Jedi.
It is Return of the Jedi. Quite right. 1 point to you. You've done very well. Number 2, in Rogue One, what were the tanks escorting through the city of Jedi? Was it prisoners, kyber crystals, spatics, or blue milk?
Yeah, cyber crystals.
Kyber crystals.
Kyber crystals is bang on. Very good. Very good. Number 3, true or false? The very first ship you see on screen in the original movie was an Imperial Star Destroyer. False. That was good. We did that together.
Tantive 4. Yes.
Was the Tantive 4. And the Imperial Destroyer was the second ship.
Yes.
Second ship. But there you go. It wasn't the first. So quite right. Very good. Well done. I like the unity of false. It's very good that. Right. Number 4. What type of Imperial vehicle is Rey using as a makeshift home at the start of Force Awakens? An AT-AT. Yes.
all-terrain armored transport.
That's quite right.
Wow.
Yes. If anybody at home, she is on an Imperial destroyer, nicking bits off it, but that's not what she's living in.
That's her house.
So just in case you wondered, yeah. So
Have you got one? It sounds like you've got one the way you said that. Have you got one?
Might.
Like, yeah.
at home, I've got not a very big garden, but big-ish garden, and I always wanted to build the kids
So
a
good.
big vehicle out of wood. I never did it, so it should have been fun. Spencer's off. Are you coming back, Spencer?
I am.
He's coming back. Don't worry. We'll see you in a minute. So hold fire. Must be in the static that we had. Oh, there he is. He's back.
There was a tremor in the force for a minute there.
I think there was. Yeah. He obviously doesn't want to talk about something. So we'll find out what it was.
I think the tremor was the AT-AT.
Could be. Yeah. Exactly. So yes, it was an abandoned attack. Quite right. Number 5, in Return of the Jedi, what does Han Solo tell Chewbacca to do while flying past the Star Destroyers? High casual. Very, very good. Well done. And the hard question, which Chris thinks is easy, and it probably is for him, is what does TIE Fighter stand for?
Ion engine.
Very good. Well, you're doing better than I thought. There we go. Obviously, I did need to make their questions harder, but never mind. Agnes says the rebels are blocking the sign. So, how many points did you get? So let's start with Chris.
I'm 100% on that one.
Oh, typical, isn't it? Magda, 6 as well, and Spence,
5.
5's good. 5's good. So that's a very respectable score, I think. Actually, what a shame, ridiculously. So I will divulge the scores for all 3 of you in a brief second. But again, we have a question from Magda, who I've ignored all the way through the show. So do apologise, Magna. It's not just you. It's just we're trying to have more fun. Now we're going to let you in. So Magna would like to know, Spence, are there any more universes or movies you would like to be a part of? So I suppose she's asking, is there a role you've actually would like to do, or a different show or something you've always fancied doing, I haven't done yet?
I nearly played the Hulk once. I would love to play the Hulk because I can actually climb buildings and catch planes for real. I haven't done any of the Pirates of the Caribbean yet. I haven't been in any of them. That would be pretty cool. But I've done so many. I've been in the DCs, the Marvels, the Warner Brothers, the Disneys. I've done sort of Doctor Who's. I've ticked off near enough whatever. So whatever comes, I can't wait. See what the path goes.
I know what I would like. I know what I want to see Spence in. I want to see Spence back in the black suit in the Mandalorian.
Ooh,
wow,
now that'd be good. Now that would be good.
There's a lot of that coming out, isn't there? I mean, Mandalorian's out. Is it this year? Now, is it very, very soon? I think.
Well, think positive for me, and
gotta have a blue milk for that.
Send it out there. You never know. You know what I mean? Have a word.
You never know. And you're quite right. And yeah, a lot of series, lots of characters, bounty hunters. I mean, there's a lot of very, very big bounty hunters. Someone's got to fill those shoes. So
yeah,
nice to see your face. That's what I think we'd like to do, really. Yeah. No helmet. I think it'd be a good thing to do. So that's cool. So, right. We've done enough questions. I think we've pretty much covered it. It's coming up to 9:30. So we've been on about an hour and a half. So, so points. Right. So who did worst? Put your hand up if you think you did badly. Well, to be honest, everyone did fine, to be honest, when we get down to it. Spence and Chris are joint seconds. So you've actually got 26 points a pop. That is actually very, very high. And actually gets, which obviously you knew it would do, is Darth Vader's Medal of Honor. Which we knew Spence would get that anyway, to be honest. So Darth Vader's Medal of Honor goes to Darth Vader, as we expected it should do. Chris got exactly the same point, 26 points a pop. However, Magda has got no questions wrong at all.
Yeah.
Well done, Magda.
Ridiculously good.
Thank you very much.
31 points, spot on the nose. Very, very well done. Emperor's seal of approval. Obviously, Orson Krennic, you are dead, so never mind. You've done very well.
Lord Vader, we're all dead, technically.
I want to try this out. Just checking. I've still got the force.
You do quite well. Yeah. Feel that all right? I can hardly breathe. Very good. As Magna as one, I'm going to ask a question about that. So, this is more about the character really than the actor. I mean, obviously Orson Krennic didn't really respect Vader very much, really, did he? He sort of had that feeling that he thought he was probably the Death Star was maybe better than the Force. So, do you think maybe he should have maybe had a better approach when maybe visiting Lord Vader in its castle?
I think so.
Yes, I think it would have helped a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know what? That's the first time in acting I felt a real fight go on between both characters. When I was on set with Ben, it was a real battle between both of us. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could really feel his force. I was feeling mine. It's just one of them. That's why clearly he got choked out. You know what I mean?
Well, he deserved it, so that's what you get. You can't mess. You can't mess with the force, can you? That's the thing.
Oh no, you don't mess with the force.
So I'm going to do a quick disclaimer, which is what we always put up. When it comes to anything we do at Star Wars Live. Don't worry, it's not too boring. So the live Star Wars quiz supporting the Old Hay Children's Kidney Fund. Star Wars and all associated items are the intellectual property of Lucasfilm, the big copyright symbol, and the very small TM Lucasfilm Limited. All rights reserved, used under authorization, which is what we are doing today. So if anyone wants to join in there. And again, the charity that we've been supporting today is the Older Hay Children's Kidney Fund. We would love it if you could help us out and give us a little bit of help yourselves by just looking up www.olderhay children's kidney fund, one whole word with no spots or spelling between it, .org. And that's it. That's the end of the show.
Awesome.
So, well done for winning. There you go. I'm going to ask Erica, are you alive? Gina seems to have died. What's happened to Gina? Has she died?
No, but she had to go somewhere important, so I...
Don't worry, it's life. Okay, that's all right. Well, you're lovely anyway, Erica. So how have we done today, if you know?
Currently, it's at 251.
251, it's gone up a bit. Yeah, right, 251.
Well done.
And we do have a little over 100 donations from the ad earlier this week.
Oh, cool.
We're doing pretty good.
There we go. Thank you so much, Erica. Thanks for helping us out. Erica's our behind-the-scenes lady with Gina, who's will turn up tomorrow or maybe the next day when we
send
found
out
her
a
under the
search
bush.
Party. We can send out
when
a search
she's found
party.
it. She's probably force choked by Spencer, who went a bit overzealous.
She felt it as well. Good.
Probably. But thank you everybody else for donating there. We're just going to say goodbye to lovely Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. If you'd like to say anything to anyone.
Thanks, Chris. Lovely to meet you, man.
Yeah. And our beautiful winner of the day, which is Magdalena. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you
well
very
done,
much.
Magdalena.
on invitation.
And of course, we have our special guest of the day, the one and only, the Lord Vader, 6'8" in his shoes. Actually, 6'8" without his shoes. Actually, Spencer Wilding. It's been a dream. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for all the help with the charity. You've done awesome. And any kids out there, don't underestimate the power of the dark side. And be careful crossing the road.
Right, there we go. Right, I don't think there's any more questions. Really, I think we're pretty much okay. I'll ask one and then we're going to go. So we obviously asked you what sort of jobs you'd like to do, and obviously you're probably going to do them anyway. Is there any particular actors that you would actually like to work with, coming up with another film that you've always fancied working with?
I would love to work with Al Pacino. I've worked with Robert De Niro. I'd love to work with Al Pacino. That'd be, like a film like Heat, something like that. That I was the baddie and they were chasing me down. I'd love that. I love all that. But you know what? Whatever comes. It's on the path.
Well, it's very possible, to be honest with you. So I think you probably do okay. So that's great. So that's the end of the show. Erica, if you're ready, you can turn off the power generators and we'll go off air. But thank you, everybody, very, very much for watching today. We all done?
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye. Bye now.